Hey, it's your girl Elle Beasley, and I'm with my girl Shavana.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
We about to gossip.
We about to gossip about 7/13 of PLL. I'm talking episode 13 of season 7, because boy, was it good.
Yeah, we're getting to the answers.
We're getting to the answers, and I think it's like me and you have said. I think fans are just frustrated. They want every answer now, and I didn't have that expectation coming in. I understand the frustration because, like you, so many PLL fans have been watching for 7 years.
Yeah.
So at this point, I understand the frustration. It's like we don't want to wait anymore. We just want all the answers right now. I want to know who AD is. I want to know who killed Miss D. I want to know who killed Charlotte. I want to know this. I want to know that.
Exactly.
And I'm a little bit more late to the game. I came through binge watching. So while you guys have been waiting for 7 years, I've been waiting for like 7 weeks. So for me, I'm just kind of like, no, I'm okay waiting. But I think we're getting answers.
Yeah.
I think we just don't realize what answers we're getting yet.
And that's why I had to go back and watch. You know.
So you've been rewatching. So
yeah, I think it's about 4 times now.
Okay, I'm at 5. I was gonna rewatch it for the 6th time, but I had to get up in the morning, so I didn't want to.
Right. I think I'm gonna do it tonight.
Okay.
I have nothing else to do.
I'm gonna do it probably all this weekend. I'm gonna rewatch probably.
I'm gonna go from the first episode until the episode we got now.
Okay, I'm with you.
Like for the season.
Okay.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
One person that I loved this episode was Emily.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't get the Allison.
Yeah, we didn't get Emerson, but I kind of like that because I'm interested to see how Allison comes back for 7/14, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But just I think Allison at this point was supposed to be gone, thinking about everything she needs to think about that's important to her. As far as her baby, does she want this baby? Does she not? And I also think she might be also thinking about what Emily said. Hey, don't kiss me until you know. So I think when we get Allison back next episode, hopefully we get more so a decisive Allison who kind of knows at least kind of where she's headed.
Correct.
As far as not only a relationship with Emily, but where she's kind of going to go with the baby. But I'm with you. I loved Emily this episode.
She was so strong.
She was so strong. We loved the banter of her and Sydney.
Yes.
I thought Sydney had a great question when she basically was just like, I know why I helped Jenna. This is a family friend connection. I've always had a connection with Jenna, but why do you constantly
what is this?
Stay around? Why do you keep inserting yourself in this? Because I mean, maybe you could walk away. I mean, we all know more than likely they couldn't, but maybe
if you could think about it, and maybe this is another separate video we should do. When was it a great opportunity for the liars to walk away?
I think they've all had some various opportunities. I think Emily, when the Texas opportunity came up. Hannah had an opportunity back when I think her mom was thinking about moving to New York at one point. I mean, they've all kind of.
Arya, when they was like, you're going to move schools at one point.
Yeah, Spencer's had a few opportunities. So, I mean, there have been opportunities where they could have left, but I think it always comes back to what this show is all about. Beyond the mystery and whatnot, it's about the friendship, that eternal friendship between these girls that truly has become a sisterhood.
And one thing I liked about this episode is we got a more friendship of Arya and Emily.
Absolutely.
Because we
Imaria.
We never had, I don't think we've ever had an episode where their bond was just...
Yeah, no, we've never really, it was kind of like we laughed and when we first got back from break, and we were like, we waited 7 seasons for an Arya and Toby scene. Yeah. And we were like, good Lord, like when you really go back, we barely got Arya and Toby. And it was like, we had to wait till Spencer got shot and Toby and Yvonne get in a car accident for us to get an Arya and Toby scene. As short as it was, we finally got. So I think it was kind of the same thing like you said with Imaria. We've had glimpses of it before, but some of the other friendships like Spimily, Hannah and whatnot.
They've been stronger. Yeah. So I like that. And I mean, hell, Arya threw me for a loop. Badass. I'm liking this dark thing she's going.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like the early glimpse into what dark Arya could be like.
She just went bam. And I was like, damn, Jake must have taught her some real good.
Well, I think that was the funny thing. It was like, first we go from the hacking, which I was with Emily because I couldn't help. I love that banter between them. And she's like, girl, weren't you the same one in 9th grade who had your phone on airplane mode for like majority of the school year? It was the same thing. It was kind of like, you have 2 different sides of you kind of, Arya, that we maybe haven't seen before. Here's more so first the hacking side. We know you and Caleb went over it back early when you guys were in high school. We knew he kind of taught you some hacking moves. And now, okay, it's not hard to believe. You're a smart girl. It's not hard to believe you could pick up some tips real quick from Caleb. But no, you're really handling
going through it like you got her planner, like everything. So I like that. And just like what we discussed with Arya, we want to see which Arya we're gonna like. Is she gonna go rogue like Hannah does? Yeah. Or is she gonna do this and make sure it's like the best interest of the girls?
Right.
Like that's what I want. I don't want it to be secretive.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. It's always been two type of kind of rogues. You had the Hannah rogue, which is more so like rogue we can't stand, where she goes off on her own, doesn't tell anybody, and ends up kind of backfiring. And then I think Spencer kind of had a rogue moment, particularly when she went and tried to be A to go find out about Toby. To me, that was probably one of the better rogue moments. It almost ended in a disaster with the fire. Right. But that wasn't their fault.
But it was like she was hoping, but she was hoping they find her.
Yeah, and it wasn't about her. Like she told Toby, I stopped caring about me a long time ago. It was no longer about her. As for Hannah, I think sometimes it's just very rogue-like, and it's just like, girl, but this screws up everybody's intention.
Yeah, and another thing is, like I said, Arya was so strong, like she grabbed that knife quick.
Yeah, she did. And I think, speaking of the knife, let's talk about who she was pointing the knife at.
Nicole.
What
was you doing there?
And I think that is the $1 million question. What is Nicole doing there? Because the last we heard,
I think the $1 million question is, where's Ezra?
That's the other million. Oh, you know what? Let's split it up. We got the $500,000. We got the $500,000 question. We got the other $500,000 question. And together they merge into a $2 million question. $1 million. $1 million. We are horrible.
Girl, the math.
Well, let's say this. We got $2 million questions. The first one.
I like that one better because those are big. They're really big questions.
We're gonna go with the $2 million questions. So the $2 million questions. The first one, of course, is in your case, where is Ezra? Which was my question because I know Arya's on the phone talking to him, leaving him at least a voicemail saying, "Hey, call me back. Blah blah blah. I need to talk to you."
But which Nicole should have announced herself then, like Arya. You know,
she should have.
She probably got stabbed.
Where is Ezra? Was Ezra actually in New York with Nicole and he's just not aware yet that she is left? Or did he never go to New York, or did he go to New York and then go somewhere else and he hasn't let Arya know where he is?
If that's the case, she could have let that ring. She can keep the ring, but just don't give it.
Just don't marry her. And then I think with Nicole, I think the other question is, what are you doing here? So, like we said, you know, when you've been kidnapped, particularly your family and friends, I'm not gonna really let you out their sight.
My mama don't let me walk out the house in the morning without peeking. Like, how are you in the car? I'm 23, girl, and
that ain't gonna never change. No, that's just mom. That's just a mother's love.
But do you understand? Now, but this child has got kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Or adopted. Adult now.
Abducted?
No, adult nap.
Adult nap?
She got adult nap.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
She got adult nap.
Adult nap. Okay.
And this, like, I don't know. I'm over it. Next.
So I just want to kind of know what she's doing there. Who, if anybody knows she left, and not just her family, but again, does Ezra know that you're gone or not? And then more importantly, what are you doing here? Are you here looking for Ezra because Ezra never came to New York? Did Ezra tell you him and Arya are engaged and now you're coming to confront her? Or are you just kind of lost in your way?
You was dead.
You know, so I'm just kind of curious and I'm interested to see exactly how we start that scene off because again, we're kind of left on a cliffhanger, her just staring like, oh my God, Nicole's just looking like a deer in the headlights.
Just letting you know. Speaking of deers and headlights,
we're good. Wait. I know exactly where you go. With this.
Girl.
You okay?
Nah, cause like out of all things, you get hit by a deer.
We gonna get there. But we do have Hannah. Hannah, to me, like I said, was in this episode.
I forgot all about her.
Honestly, I think her role was important, but I really appreciated more so what happened to Hannah that led to our Spala moment.
Yep.
I think that's what it was for me because me and you have constantly said pretty much since Spencer got shot, we wanted a Spala closure moment. Now that we know that Hannah and Caleb are back together and everything like that, and it's back to Caleb, we were like, we need official closure on Spala. I always liked the way Spencer handled the breakup.
I loved it.
I said, you know, she is like, you know what, I'm not mad that we tried. I just understand that we all made mistakes. You made a mistake, I made a mistake, Hannah made a mistake, but at the end of the day, I understand as much as I love you, I understand that you and Hannah are in game and I have to go find my own way. And it was kind of like after she got shot, we just never saw any interaction. We were just pissed. We were just kind of like,
where's the sympathy?
Yeah, because
like you kind of understand why Toby didn't visit or whatever. Like he was dealing with his own thing. But hey, look, what was your excuse?
Yeah, and I think.
And then like, did you even go visit Toby?
Well, I mean, I don't really know because I mean, they could always say later they did, but I think like you said, the frustration was with Spala. It was just like we said before the relationship. Spala was just a good friendship. That was just, and that was always our thing. Long before we got the relationship, whether you loved their relationship or you hated their relationship, I always loved their friendship, and that was one of the things that I always loved about them as a whole. So for me, it was nice to see that moment again where it was just kind of like, this is awkward, but I'm kind of happy that we don't have to act like we can't talk to each other. And I even like the banter in the sense of, you know, hey, you want a beer? Like, yeah, I want a beer, man. You know,
I can get it.
You know, and I even like him telling her, you know, you do deserve the best. Because I mean, at the end of the day,
I liked that. I really liked that because I was like, you know what? You knew you wasn't shit. So good. I'm glad you knew.
I'm glad
she
you knew.
Deserved something way better than you.
Way better than you.
Which is Toby. But I'm okay with Marco.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. Not only did we get closure on Spala, but then we got some more simmering, a little bit more fan to the flame, if you will.
Because they're about to be a Sparco.
A Sparco, and that's their new ship name that I've been kind of seeing on Twitter and whatnot, Sparco. And we've said 1,000 times, we love this slow simmering relationship between Marco and Spencer. I like this scene in particular because, again, it didn't just start off as this overly romanticized date. It was really him just trying to get her away from her problems and her stress.
So sweet.
It turned into a nice moment where he confides about his past.
Yep, mommy issues. She
Mommy
loves
issues.
that.
And I like that it kind of helps Spencer just realize, once again, I think even as people in society, we do this all the time. Sometimes we just forget to remember how blessed we are and how fortunate we are. And I felt like, even though she didn't say that, it was just kind of like, you know what, I have to remember, I'm not the only one who has this crazy past or got mommy issues or got daddy issues. I am still fortunate to be here and have people who love me and care about me, blah, blah, blah. And then it led to this nice moment that was a nice kiss. Again, it wasn't overly sexy. It wasn't downplayed. It was just a nice romantic yet intimate moment between the two, and it makes you feel good about where this relationship could go once Spencer and the team kind of deal with all this AD madness.
Right. But did you see his face when he found the finger?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the interesting thing, because I think that's about to get interesting, but we're going to touch on that a little bit. Now we have to touch on the other relationship. That hug. We've talked constantly about Sparco. Now we're talking about Spoby, but now Spoby's kind of dynamic has changed, because now Yvonne is officially out of the picture. She died at the very end.
So selfish.
After waking up, they decided he didn't want to wait anymore. She finally woke up. She decided didn't want to wait anymore. Got married, and then unfortunately, a couple hours after they got married, she passed away. So now Toby is a widower, and we're kind of in a situation now, kind of with Spoby. I think it just leaves us kind of questioning if they are in game, because we've constantly said, Marlene and them kind of keep throwing us off track. They'll say, oh, all the couples are in game, and then they'll throw another teaser out there. It's kind of like, well, maybe not all of them, and then we're kind
of some.
So there's like some couples, right? So we've constantly been like back and forth, like, well, all right, all the couples in game or not? So I think if you still believe Spoby's in game, and we still have hope that they could be, I think the question is, how do we get to in game Spoby? Now we know Toby's not going to be in every single episode, but we know he's going to be in some more episodes. So obviously he has to have a grieving process.
I think he's gonna miss out this episode and come back next episode. So he's gonna miss 14.
Yeah,
but he's gonna be back in 5 or 6. I'm gonna give him until at least 6, but I see him coming back in 5.
Okay.
That way, that's kind of like a week for them, but for us, but probably it's like a couple weeks for them.
Right.
And he's had his grieving, and now he's trying to figure out,
Well, I think that's going to be the thing I'm interested to see throughout this whole process. If Spoby is in game, first I would we said 1,000 times, I want Toby to be the aggressor. I want Spencer to either just focus on her relationship with Marco, or building relationship with Marco, or just focus on the whole AD thing and her mother and her family drama. I don't want her to be the aggressor. I think at this point Toby needs to decide what he wants, and if he does want to be with Spencer now that Yvonne unfortunately has passed, then let that be the case. But I just don't want it to be rushed. I don't want to feel like he grieved and all of a sudden it's just like, Spencer, I need you. And it's like, okay, no, I don't want that to be rushed, but I don't want it to necessarily. The main thing we talked about this before, I said it would be interesting if they slowly start maybe leading us to a Spoby reunion, but maybe we officially find out they're together in the finale when they do a 1 year jump.
And I'm okay with that.
Because we know in the finale there is going to be a slight time jump. It's going to be about 1 year. And we're not necessarily
I don't see I get it. He's going to grieve for her, but I see him. So I see him running back to Spencer, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with it as long as it's done delicately. I just don't want it to be unrealistic.
Like 1 week after. That's what I'm saying. I see their relationship developing by 6.
Yeah, and I just want it to be a slow developing thing. And then, like I said, we have
5 episodes left.
Girl, you way off.
6.
We have 7.
No way.
We only had 3 so far. You cutting down the episodes.
I'm cutting them down because I'm putting 1 all together.
We have 7 episodes left.
Okay, we have 6 episodes.
We're gonna
put all that last one together. No, that's a to be continued.
No, we got 7.
Anyways, he coming back in 6 and he'll confess his love to Spencer.
I'm not sure he's gonna come back and confess his love. It could happen. I'm not, like I said, I need to first just see where the heck Toby is when we get into next episode. But I don't even think Toby's gonna be the main focus of this next episode, unfortunately, or not really unfortunately, especially for frustrated PLL fans out there, because we're finally about to get an answer that we've all been waiting for some time, and that's who killed Mrs. D.
You know what? We're gonna have to do another video because I got so many theories.
I mean, we got a couple theories about who killed Mrs. D. I mean,
girl, this is a mess.
I mean, but I think the other interesting thing is not just do we get an answer about Mrs. D. According to the actual, synopsis for the actual episode, we know that this will be Allison's turn possibly now to play the game. So this is gonna bring up some previous traumas for her. Maybe we'll get some idea, maybe what she went through early on. Maybe Kate May. Maybe they're talking about while she was on the run. Could just be, frustrations with the De Laurentiis family. Her
because they never actually said why she was running. They just assumed because Mona was scaring her. But there's something has to be deeper. So
I mean, it could be something deeper. I've said it could be something deeper, but if it's not, I'm fine with the explanation that they gave us. But I think it's just going to be interesting because I think this is going to be a very Allison-centric episode for sure. I think it's going to be that partly because of Mrs. D. And then it's not just Mrs. D we're getting answers about. We finally get to hear from Peter Hastings because he will be back this episode. So Spencer finally gets her confrontation with her father about Mary, about the decisions he made. And then on top of that, we also know that Pastor Ted is coming back. Ashley Marion's once boyfriend and fiance. So I'm interested to see why he's back. There are a lot of rumors going around why he could be back. Could he be linked to Charlotte/Cece? Could he be linked to the Drake family, the De Laurentiis family? So I'm very, very interested to see what happens episode 14. But as far as Miss D, just real quick, I mean, we've had a couple different theories about who could kill her. I've always said I still think Peter Hastings is a good one. Is a good high contender. I think
the real Jessica De Laurentiis is alive and Mary's the one that's dead.
So in your case, Jessica would be technically the mother of Spencer. Or is she lying? In your theory.
I think what happened, this is my theory, I think the real Mary Jake is dead. And because Jessica has killed her, she has to play the role as Mary Drake. And she knows this is going to come out that, okay, wait, Mary Jake had 3 kids. And I think so she has to play that role. But I think Jessica is playing the role as Mary Drake.
So you think Mary Drake is dead and Jessica's alive? Okay, that's an interesting thing. I'm not sold on the theory. Wouldn't be mad if it happens though. Because it would definitely be
it's a doozy.
It'd be a doozy. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. I hope it's not the case, but if it is, I'm still okay. But I am definitely still putting Peter on the list. I still think Kenneth De Laurentiis, her husband and Allison's father, I definitely think he's still a possibility. No word yet if he's going to be back.
Because even the mothers thought he killed her.
Yeah, even the mother thought, which I think it was an obvious reason why. But as far as I know, he's not coming back at all, so I have no reason to think that it is him. But he's always still a strong contender. And then I think Mary's still a strong contender. Assuming this is the real Mary we have right now. Jessica is actually dead.
I get it.
Then Mary is still definitely a contender. She could have come back, and then there always could be. We could always go back to the AD theory that it was AD. But I personally think it's gonna be one of these characters. I think it's gonna be one of the adult characters. I don't think it's going to be any of our youthful characters. I think it's going to be somebody's parent, somebody's aunt, somebody's sister or big brother. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be at this point though one of the parents for sure.
Because Wilden was already dead, correct?
Yes, Wilden was already dead. Yeah. So I definitely am interested to see who killed Mrs. D or if your theory could be right. You never know. That could pop out at the end. But I do agree. I think going into episode 14 of season 7, I definitely think we are getting now to the nitty-gritty of the answers. We already got a little bit of tease of Dark Arya based on the promo. We're about to get a little bit more of Dark Arya. Then on top of that, we know we're about to get our first big answer, who killed Mrs. D. And then we have that nice little 1-week break, which is going to be kind of tough for some of us. And then we're going to come back. But I think this is when
I got the flash.
I think you're okay. See, you're okay. See, I'm gonna have to struggle. I'll probably just binge watch just to make it through the week. But I think this is when we're about to get more so into our rapid fire answers. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Ren's coming back for.
Yeah.
I need to see Melissa back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Lord, you know what's crazy? Because I like the Melissa character on her new show.
Oh, Chicago Med.
So. But then sometimes she'd be a bitch. I was like, Melissa, stop.
Melissa, stop. You can't even keep calling her Melissa on there. That's how it works, though.
I was like, Melissa. So you got a real Melissa moment.
Yeah, right, a real Melissa moment.
But we just gotta wait. Check out next episode on Tuesday.
On Freeform. So I'm excited. 7/14. We will find out who killed Miss D. I'm with Shavana. I think it's gonna be a doozy.
It's gonna be a doozy.
All right. We'll see you guys, and don't forget to tune in to that next episode of Pretty Little Liars on Freeform on Tuesday night.
Yeah, watch it.
Better.
Yeah. What's up? No, kidding.